Hi, and welcome back to the TackleShare YouTube channel. I'm Alicia, and today we're going to be talking about automatic hook setting devices. These devices are fantastic for helping you increase your chances of catching fish. All you have to do is set it up, and when a fish triggers it with a bite, it automatically sets the hook for you. In this video, we're going to talk about how to actually set one up properly, as well as a few tips and tricks to help you catch more fish. All right, so there's quite a few different automatic hook setters on the market. I personally own these two right here. One's a jaw jacker, one is a Celcius, which is not as widely known as a jaw jacker. There are also some other devices that are a bit more three-dimensional, and I don't like that because I really like to compact what I'm doing. So I like this one, and this one I'm going to do most of my instruction with. So when you pull out of the package, you'll notice here you've got an arm right here. I'm just gonna pop that open just like that. I'm gonna pop the other arm open as well, just like that. And at the ends, they have these neat little ice picks. Lock them into position. We'll pop them out and lock them into position. So you can see when you put it on the ice, they're gonna hold some traction when the fish goes to pull. Next, you'll see along the deck here, there's a pin that you can pull out, and that allows you to move the deck out as far as you want, depending on the rod you have. Generally, if I'm using the same rod all the time, I'm using a number 4. That's just for my own personal preference. This is my rod length. And then I can also remove this pin and pop up the rod holder. So that's exactly what's going to hold the rod and helps provide a lot of that tension that you're going to be putting on it. And there we go. The rod goes right in there. And now I'm going to show you how to set up the trigger. So in the package, when you pick them up, you'll have this vibrant neon loop there. And when you attach that, you're going to attach that to your rod, not through the actual guide, but through the guide support. All right, when you actually want to set up your trigger mechanism for your automatic hook setter, of course, you're going to be putting this on the ice. The hole will already have been drilled right here. And of course, you can see these picks are going to be digging really into the ice to give you that security. You're going to bend your rod tip over, has that loop on there, and the trigger loop hook is going to go right through there, and you're going to push that down. Next, you're going to take the actual trigger mechanism and push it back up. And so it's going to hold the pressure that you've invested into the trigger loop hook, and it's just going to hold it nicely like that. The line will go through that little U shape right there, and a little greedy fish comes over and gives it a little nibble and automatically sets the hook for you. So a few other basic tips for setting up your automatic hook setter. Number 1 is you can increase the tension here using this wing nut. If you turn it to the right, you're increasing the tension, and if you turn it to the left, you're decreasing the tension. You want to increase the tension if you have, let's say, a larger live bait that's swimming around and could trigger the mechanism, or if you've got a bigger jig or something like that. If you've got like a light tungsten jig and a pinhead, you might want a light tension. So those are some things you want to consider. If you're noticing that it's not getting set off, it's possibly because you've got the wrong tension. You also want to make sure you keep this clear of any water. You don't want to get any ice buildup on there to help prevent it from setting off when you want to catch that fish. When you are setting up your automatic hook setter, you want to make sure you're keeping your face away, because it's really, really important that you protect your eyes. And of course, if you're putting this rod under tension, your fingers are cold and they may slip. You don't want to be getting that in the face, especially if the hook comes off like that. So I like to, 1, keep my head to the side. 2, I like to put sunglasses on just as a safety net. You never know what's going to go on. And it's just one more thing to protect yourself. You should have sunglasses anyways to protect yourself from the sun and hooks sometimes. So I like to use them exactly when I'm setting up my jaw jacker. Now the rod I like to use a medium or a medium heavy. That way it has that backbone that you need to set the hook and give it a good amount of spring. If it's too light, then you're not going to be setting the hook properly. I also like to use a rod that has braid on it. I actually have braid almost on every single one of my rods. It doesn't have any line stretch, so when you go to set the hook, and if you're not there to continue reeling, you really want to get a good hook set, and that's going to set the hook properly in the fish's mouth. Another great thing about jaw jackers is that you're not going to be getting any fish swallowing that hook, because as soon as it nibbles, that hook is going to get set in the top of their mouth. It's a really great tool to use if you're going to be doing a lot of live release, because that way you're not going to be damaging the fish if it accidentally swallows it into its belly. I like to set up my jaw jacker as soon as I get out. I know that I basically will walk out onto the ice, drill a hole, mark a fish, and that's where I'm going to be setting up my jaw jacker. I like to do that because I've got kids with me. They're distracted. We have to set up a hut. We got all of these things to set up. If I'm doing all that, I'm not fishing. So the jaw jacker is doing all that fishing for me. And if I have my back turned, I like to put on a set of bells. So if it does go off and I don't see it or hear it, those bells are going to make sure I really hear it.
The Ontario fishing regulations prohibit the possession of a spring gaff in any waters or within 30 meters of any water's edge. A spring gaff includes any device that uses a mechanical spring other than a fishing rod under tension to set the hook. Hook setters demonstrated in this video use a fishing rod under tension, not a mechanical spring, and are legal for angling in Ontario.
All right, so those are some basics about the automatic hook setters. I hope you've learned something, and if you've made it this far in the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to help us keep more fishing content coming your way. As always, if I forgot something, please leave it in the comments. We want to know what other benefits you find to using automatic hook setters. There's a variety out there, not just these two types I talked about that have that. There's some other different varieties. This is just, I would say, the Jawjacker is probably the most prominent in the market right now. I'm really liking this other Celcius one that I have as well. It seems fairly durable and kid-proof. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.